Okay, so my granddaughter got here, and it's so crazy because we were talking, and we started talking about my grandson and the ages, and it's like I lost a year. Like my granddaughter's about to turn 20, my grandson just turned 17. It's like, where the hell have I been? Like, what the hell? So, anyways, that was like, I don't know, time and all of it is so weird. If you're not in it, a part of it with that person, in that celebration, like time just keeps going, and it's like, I don't know, it becomes hard to track. Um, Especially like if you have a big family, like it's kind of crazy, because I have four daughters. Two of them have four kids each. So the other two, I don't know if they're gonna have any. I don't even know if my granddaughters are gonna have any. It seems to be such a push, where it's like, I don't want kids, I don't want kids. Like, where's the, show me the Planned Parenthood, you know what I mean? It's like, so many things that I notice about the direction and how effective it's been. It's, I don't know. It's like, I know everything's gonna shift, and it's so crazy when I tell people that. And it's like, no, there's nobody. And there's hardly any people who think that we're in a shift. Most people think, oh no, this is the end. This is God's taking his chosen ones and all sorts of stuff. Like, when I try and tell people, look, things are changing. We're going to go quantum. We're going into the Jetsons. And people are just like, okay. And they don't really know. And okay, so this is what really got me. And I don't have really that much to talk about because, again, every time I go on TikTok, it's just like, I have no idea. I guess I watched the tarot people because now I'm just flooded. I have so many, but it's just like, um, I don't know. I feel like that the message to me is coming in faster, 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 and faster. It's so crazy. Even when she came in, and started talking, within an hour, she had mentioned that person's name. It was I bet you it was even less than that. I don't know. And same with my other granddaughter. The other day when I just talked to her, and I hadn't talked to her in a long time, within a few minutes, she was mentioned that person's name. I was like, I feel this energy is just coming in, coming in, coming in. And it's, I don't know, because all these things are so new, we've never experienced anything like this before. And so it's so interesting because you don't know for sure, like, what is this? Where's this coming from? How's this happening? And I don't know. It's so crazy how it's so crazy how people can just start thinking things are just too fantastic. Nah, that's too fantastic. That's way above you. Like, don't. It's like, well, why? Like, why do you think that? And then on top of that, like, there's a whole part where it's like, I didn't know that much about this person, but once I started going in and looking, I was like, oh my God, this is like me in yeah, it's weird. So, and then in mine, I started thinking like, how does nobody else recognize this? Am I the only one who recognizes? Like, so anyways, I don't know. We'll see how everything plays out. But the thing that is getting me too is, now, well, Trump's coming in hard. He's doing speech after speech or something. Because my mom's like, did you see his speech? Did you see his speech last night? Oh, because it's that CPAC thing or whatever. Like, they're already starting the fucking voting bullshit. Like, I'm not doing it. No. And there's just no freaking way. Like, I stopped paying taxes last year. I stopped to vote. And I'm not doing it ever again. I don't need a government, and I'm not going to acknowledge them so they can kiss my fucking ass. Like, I don't give a fuck. Other people want to hold on. Oh, I'm going to vote. Go. You just go play that game. I'm done playing. So, but the thing is, so we have the one group that's talking about the 15-minute cities. They are global control bankers, corporations, the people who are, I don't know, killing us. And so those 15-minute cities, like, you look into them, what are they all about? about control, about small, about just, it's like putting us in a cubicle of life, you know, the Earth cubicle. Here, we got this whole beautiful planet to go out and explore, but no, you guys are hurting the planet. We're hurting the planet. Yeah, it's us. Um, every time I fucking take out a package and start pulling out all the motherfucking stuff, it's like, oh my God. Yeah, we got problems with trash, but let's just add in a shit ton more. Let's keep this plastic shit going like it's fucking mental. Yeah, it's us. It's us. Yeah, it's not at all the plastic. It's not the petroleum. No, it's us. It's like, motherfucker. So, anyways, the 15-minute city is smaller, you know, confined. And so then, you know, T-Dog comes in and starts talking about the future cities. And not only did he say the future cities, he said, I'm going to put a lot of money. We're going to start putting a lot of money. If you have things that you want to do to build these communities, start just like what I had been talking about. Like I had been saying that and saying that that was going to happen. Then it starts happening. So, yeah, I'm going to go with my gut. You know, people can go with whatever. Go with the media. I'll go with my gut. But so he had been saying about the future city, you know, we're going to build these futuristic cities. He even said we're going to be having flying cars or hover cars, he said. And so sending your proposals, because that's what I said. I said, if people have, this is going to be about building community. And I guarantee they are going to be, it's going to seem like hurting people because that's what it's always been. They've been able to hurt us around, you know, control our movement. And the more and more I started thinking today, like about the highways are fucking portals. The fucking freeways are goddamn portals. It's like you can take a little fucking mirror and then stretch it out and tell us that we got to travel through there to get to the next place. And it works. We do it. It's fucking mental. Like, seriously. And then, so there's going to be, you know, that would be a big difference of realities. And, man, things are going to shift. It's going to be crazy. This is going to be so interesting to experience this part. This part's hard. You know, sitting here waiting as people just keep leaving and all this trauma and people crying and so much trauma. Like, I just saw a video too of China propaganda. 2 million soldiers they have, and they had them out doing this beautiful march in perfect alignment. You know, like fucking real Nazi shit, really. But, and they all had on the helmets. Like, those helmets don't come off. Those helmets, once they go on, that's it. They detonate to get off. Like, those people get their heads blown off. And they're all these young guys, you know. And I was thinking, man, that is 2 million fucking. But, you know, it's all the thing to keep getting us to be on the edge of our seat. Like, yeah, we're about to get nuked. Russia, China, all of it. And they've already said, they told the crane to, you know, shut it down. You're done. And then, I don't know, you know, I mean, this is the crane is a flag. You know, it's the people behind it. You know, they're everywhere. They're like a fucking infection. That is, you know, you've gone sepsis. The Earth's gone sepsis with the fucking infection of these people. But so they're everywhere, all over all over the body of this reality. And so, you know, but it's all drying up. They're drying up. There's not the energy to keep them going anymore. They had their energy and they fed it and they had it going and it was, you know, propelling us into danger. But, you know, they went too far. The energy is going the other way. It's going to go the other way. And that's going to do the opposite for them of what they want and do the positive for us. But so in these future cities, because I keep seeing these people, come on. Oh, you think Trump's going to help you? You think Trump's going to say, no, dude. I can be a certain group of people that sit around like, oh, Trump's going to come and save us all. No, I know things are going to change when he goes back in. Like, because this is all about the awakening. They put that jackassery in there. And I swear to God, I think it would be so funny. I saw a video the other day of him doing some walk. He's out walking with this whole group of people. It was a black person showing this video. They were so disgusted. And they're like, this is such bullshit propaganda. Look at how sharp and one of these people are like. So I don't even know who all was in this crowd. There's people in wheelchairs. It was all these old people. Like he was marching with the elderly or something. I don't know what the hell he was doing. And he had this goofy walk he's doing and this smirky smile. And I was like, oh my God, I swear to God, it would be the funniest thing if he was standing at a podium doing a speech and just suddenly ripped his head off. I think that would wake some people up. That would be hilarious. And then people would be like shocked, and then there would be another one and another one. And they don't all have this. I swear to God, some of them have a really cheap mask that they can't even get on right. Or maybe their face is just so different than the mask. I don't know. But it's very curious. But, I mean, he was put in just to get us to see the crime. I mean, he's so connected to all of the thing. I mean, right now, one big thing that everybody keeps talking about is, you remember the picture of Junior sitting on the floor in front of the Oval Office, in front of the desk, playing with paper airplanes on the ground. Yeah. And the two Jenga towers falling. So now there's one similar, only it's Joe with trains. Supposedly it's a painting, who knows? These people it could be somebody just made a meme and got, picked up steam, and then somebody was like, this is real. I don't know, but another one surprised me because he put everything on our face, and they are criminal. And so he was, he was the perfect candidate to come in and take them all down. He's so motherfucking corrupt. He's so fucking arrogant. He's such a piece, man. Like, that guy, God. He just grew. Oh, I couldn't stand him when he was with Obama, and I liked Obama back then. I liked them all until 2016, when I saw what happened with Bernie. It gave me a whole new look on that party. I was like, oh, this party is some bullshit, man. You're just gonna put Hillary in? Like, there's no fucking... Bernie has fucking huge crowd. The whole goddamn city will show up to listen to him. And then Hillary can't even fill a fucking gym. Like, are you kidding me? And that's who you're gonna put in there? Like, that right there showed so much to me. And the corruption, like, it's corrupt, but then when they just blatantly shove shit in your face, and that is when I started looking at things through different eyes on the government and the politics. And since I was already on Facebook, I already knew who was going to win. I already knew what was going down. You could just read it in the comments, and then it even made less sense. Because it was like Bernie could have fucking probably beat him. And there was no way HRC could, but, Bernie isn't a player like them, so Bernie is never going to be in that position. Bernie's always going to be in his limited position, pushing the climate, because that is where they have locked him in. And and I think there's a lot of people who talk about the climate who probably really believe it, that they don't know it's an agenda. They don't know it's taxable campaign is just to control us and move us into 15-minute cities, and the poisoning the ground to make everything dangerous. All trains are coming off everywhere. It's dangerous. We're all gonna die. So then and they put that in their heads, and there's people like, oh my gosh. Now they put, like, this is how ridiculous shit is. Now they've put Erin Brockovich, because she showed up in Ohio. Now she's on a watch list or something. I'm sure she always was. But, once they start seeing it in the media, they're trying to get attention on something. And so many people are getting sick there, and they keep calling it chemical bronchitis or something. But people are getting rashes. They got tons of problems. Like, it's really sad. Well, luckily, we're gonna have med beds. The med beds are coming. Like, I saw this video, and this girl, I've never seen her before, but so she's talking. She's really worked up, and she's crying, and she's talking about her teeth, and she's talking really weird. And so I was just kind of curious, because she said she just got her teeth. And it maybe, I think in a lot of her videos, like, she's talking and her teeth shoot out. And I feel bad for her, she owns it. She's like, I don't know what happened to her teeth. I don't know if she did drugs before and that's what happened, or it's just bad, poor healthcare. We got just shit water and stuff. Like, there's all sorts of things that can affect people's dental health. And so I'm not sure, but anyways, she was just really funny about this stuff, and she was told this one story where she got all mad and she was like, fuck, screamed out, and her teeth went flying out and hit her 2-year-old in the head. And then, or the 4-year-old, she was 2 and a 4 or something like that, and then just picked up her teeth. Here, Mom, here's your teeth. The girl was just so funny, like, it's just so funny. But anyways, when she was talking, I just kept thinking, that's the thing right there, is like, she has no idea that the med beds are coming and how that's going to make such an impact on her life, because it grows your teeth back. Like, I'm totally looking forward to it, because these teeth that dentist broke back here on mine, it's causing my other teeth to shift even. And so anyways, all that stuff will be fixed with a med bed. So I'll see stuff like that, and I'll just think, oh, they're gonna be so happy when they get to go in, and when people get to just reset back to, a more pure, healthy vibration where everything is in sync. And so it's gonna change so many people's lives. You know what I mean? So many people have struggled in so many different ways. Even handicaps and disabilities and stuff are all going to be taken away. Like, there's a lot of things ending with this. There's a lot of things changing, and that changes a lot with the scenarios that we're here to play out. But anyways, when they sit there and, well, those future cities, that's exactly the same thing. He's putting us right into the same thing. You'll see, you Trump lovers and all that stuff. It's like, no, it's not. Go look up about Nassar. Quit just believing everything. This is what they do all the time. Just like when people started waking up and everybody started saying about being woke when you woke up. And then all of a sudden, there was a whole new thing in the Democrat thing. Oh, it's woke. Everybody's woke. It's woke. And woke was a bad thing. So everything, they take it and they shift it. Being healthy, all of a sudden you're obsessed with your body. You've got to not be obsessed with your body. That's body positivity. Don't even care about what you consume. Just take. Consume. Be sick, be unhealthy, be overweight. That's okay. Be just as long as you love yourself. Well, find me some people who love themselves when they're not taking care of themselves. Then go hand in hand. And so, but that's what people are here to learn. Like, like shiny things in your pocket's not going to make you happy. It's the same thing. You want to be happy, you want to feel good, you got to take control of yourself. You want a savior, you got to save yourself. And so that, I don't know, all these people just think like we're all just sitting here waiting for Trump to come. Like, I know he's coming, but I'm not just, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what other people have writing on it. A lot of people that were really turning on the, well, he did say to do that, remember? He's bad. He's saying to get these small cities, and he said do that. And the whole thing is like, people, you gotta see. He said do that because he asked them. He asked them right on fucking camera. I sat there and watched it. He fucking asked the fraud, is this, he even brought up the other things. Well, what about this? What about this? What about the thing with the lights, the infrared? What about, he was bringing up all these things that are real. And the media made him look like he was a crazy, ridiculous person. Well, I don't know how people just jump on board with that stuff. It's like, okay, if he's saying that, don't you think maybe there could be something to it? Just possibly. There may be something to it, which of course there was. And so, when they go on and they lie to him and he asks for the public, is this safe? Is this really, and he did it several times. It wasn't just one time. Like, that footage will be pulled back up. Anybody starts trying to say, because it's going to be shown that he was tricked too. He wasn't just, even if he knew they were tricking him, he had to play a part because the part had to be played out so that people would wake up. He can't just come on and say something because people won't believe him. Like, and the media is totally against him and people jump on board. And so he had to allow that to play out. And he had to show he was tricked too. They told him it was safe. And, and when he got his, I would assume it was probably a lot of vitamins and stuff like that. And so, I don't know what all, not every single, I don't know, there's something going on in people's bodies apparently, because they've already said that now they're property of the government if you had that you're numbered and all that bullshit. So, but, there's so many people who are injured now. The P, I think, is in debt for 3 trillion in claims. So this is all going to bankrupt them. It could even be 30 trillion, 300 trillion. I don't know. It's like an astronomical number. And that's only a fucking tiny bit of what's coming. Like this stuff happening is going to bankrupt all of these companies. That's what I'm saying. They put out a certain energy. That energy is going to flip them. They are going to bankrupt themselves by being so evil and uncaring about people. So that is the takedown of the Western. Oh my gosh, the stories I keep seeing on the Western medicine. Oh my god, I saw this one woman. She went to go see her husband in the hospital. The hospital's empty. And she's walking all around showing it was empty everywhere. It's like, because there's no staff. This is where when people sit there when the hospitals are full. Okay, when they say that there's no beds, it's because there's no staff. There's beds, but they have to have a certain, like, there's a criteria. And although they keep changing it, and they can be like, okay, well, now it's 12 patients to one nurse. It used to be you'd have like 4, and you'd have an aide, and together you'd have like, I was more on acute. And then you go into ones that aren't very acute, you'd have like 6, and then you'd have an aide, and she would have like 20 or 30. But so she goes in and does all of the, more care stuff on the people, and you do more of the medical stuff on the people. And so, but it's a lot to have 6 patients, because you got to do all the charting. There's timed meds. There's all sorts of things you got to do. You got to be talking to doctors. You got to be ordering tests. There's a lot. And so 6 is a heavy load. And then even when they get up, like there was times where they were just putting 8 and stuff like that, and then started changing it to where you had to have a certain amount, like shifting it and making it more. And so I bet that they've got even heavier loads now, and that there's less and less staff. More and more medical people have pulled out and said they saw through it. And so I don't even know where they're, they could be going down in the streets of Philly and pulling people in. Hey, we'll give you a uniform. Go in and watch these people. Like, there's no fucking telling where. I don't think, some of the stories I've heard, it's like, do these people, have they been trained at all? Like, it's weird. Like, some of the stuff going on when people are going in to get treatments and help and stuff. Like, the system is definitely revealing itself. That it has no fucking clue what it's doing. And it's not there to help you. And you better take your health into your own hands. But the future cities, I'm just really stuck on this future cities, because I think, okay, so when he said that he's going to be, put in your proposals. And so when I was watching Charlie back in 2020, he was talking so much about Nisargasar. That's where I started hearing about it. And so if you go in and you look up about it, it talks about the Jubilee and all of the hidden patents, all the patents that they've been hiding and everything in order to control us and keep us technologically repressed. And so it's so funny because, when I was a kid, we thought it would be the Jetsons by now. But now, and it's so crazy how they were able to hold us back like that. But now we are going to go into that. But so in the proposals of these cities, so it's going to be, because we're going into this, it's not going to be governing like how it is. We're not going to have the same kind of thing. It's going to go small into community run kind of more areas. Like, it's going to be so much more smaller and manageable. It's not going to be ridiculous. the United States, where, you know, fuck, where are we united? How are we united? Because the government wants to control us all and get our taxes? Like, that's about it. So there's no other things that bring us together. You know, I mean, we all move around and go visit one another, but it's like, I don't know, it's just ridiculous. And so, the, so when you put in the proposal, so say you're like, I think some of the biggest proposals that'll go first will be anything that can, like community gardens. Like say, I want to put in a proposal. I want to get this land over. If you think about like the doomsday map, so you got to go into the doomsday map for sure. I swear to God, you could go into Gates' property. I know. Oh, they're putting it out so much. All this property he keeps buying, it's all going back to the people. I mean, this guy's already got arrest warrants in the Philippines or something. Like, all these people are going down. Like, there's no fucking way, two ways about it. And so, and everything was already in his executive orders that he was confiscating all these rich people. If you're any part of crimes against children, for sure, but any of the stuff about crimes against humanity, but the ones against the kids, that's the FS for sure. If you don't want the FS, then you get a choice. I think of three. Which way would be the best way to go? They ought to make them fucking use that head chopper hopper thing that they created for us. They've already got, I swear to God, I think it's in Ohio. What the fuck, I swear. Was it Ohio that has already started using it? There is a state that has already started using it. And if you haven't seen it, it's fucking vicious. I don't understand how they think that this is more compassionate for people. Are you fucking kidding me? The footage that I saw is, so you go in, so if you're on death row and they marked you as time's up, so then you go in and they give you some sort of drug to make you kind of loopy, like you just don't give a fuck. And then you go sit in this chair, and I think they may tie you to the chair, like that's not going to panic you. And then this fucking thing that looks like heavy machinery, those great big giant machines. I had that. Even my brothers, I swear they had one when they were little. Those yellow big trucks, and the one that has the big claw thing, and you could pick up things, and it's like it kind of reminds me of Dinosaur, how they did it, but it has like that mouth thing, so it has like 3 here and 3 down here, and they go with this like that or something. It may even have like but I swear to God, it had the 3 things, or maybe multiple, but like jaggedy or pointy or something on both sides, and then the thing just goes down and clamps your head. Like, those things go right around here and just yank your head off. That's supposed to be more humane way to. That's humane. So that's what I think. Let's skip the FS. Let's just go get that machine. Let's line them all up for the things that they think we should have to endure. Let's watch them endure their inventions. I think that'd be a good, fun thing to do. Watch them sit and maybe let's not give them any drugs first. Maybe let's just let them go sit in the chair and wait their turn. I don't know. It's turnaround is fair play. What you put out is gonna come back. So if I was gonna be putting in a proposal, I would be putting in something about food, like for sure right now, like a big an area that had a lot of room for growth, where a lot more people in there, and I'm sure there's a direction. I'm sure, because he said he's got 11 of these that are going in, and so I think it is going to be. They've already chosen. This is a safe place. We got all this room to expand. Like, they have a plan, to start doing it, but they want us to come in and start taking control of our lives. That's the thing. This is what is being pushed on us. to come in and take control. Don't sit back and let somebody else govern you. Come in and take a role in your life. Come in and take a role in your community. Come in and be a part of something. And so that is the shift, and that is the push. So even when they're saying, we're going to do this, and even if they have a blueprint, they had to come up with a plan. So I would think that they came up with, these certain areas, we could have a certain amount of people. And most, I don't think we're not going to go into these big cities again. I mean, you could still go into, there could be communities where, I don't know, 100,000 people or something, maybe even 250. When I moved to Spokane, I think it was 175 or 250, and it seemed small. Like, I mean, you would never go to a restaurant and sit and talk about somebody, because you bet your ass somebody who knows them is sitting in that restaurant listening. So that was always the thing there, is like it's big, but it's small enough that you don't go talking about people out in public. Like, it will get back to them. And you would run into people, you would see people. It wasn't like this. You go to the grocery store in LA, you go back every day at the same time, you probably won't see the same people. You see different people every time. And so in Spokane, you would see people over and over. So I don't know, because some of the ones I kind of envision, it seems like really small town, like kind of like where I'm at, and a lot more smaller. So there could be something like that. I don't know, but I think he's waiting to kind of see like the creators to come forward, and like, with great ideas, like what we could do here, and we could have this, and the kind of buildings and stuff. Like, everything is going to be so much more high tech. It's going to be so exciting to see being built. And I don't know, I think it probably is timing to have that be popping up right as probably this earthquake is going to, I mean, I can't even fucking believe with California. And I saw this this weather guy. I see him all the time, but he is a media one. Like, he works for CNN or something. And so he's a lot of, I don't know. He could work for CBS or NBC. I don't know. He works for something. But he was like, yeah, they got all this snow. They got 5 more feet coming. Like, if you've seen the videos and stuff, like, they're expecting there's hundreds of people dead in their houses. People haven't been able to get out and go to get food. Like, people have been trapped in their house for a week and are buried under snow. And then they got another, I think it was another 5 or 8 feet dumped on. I'm getting all these places so confused, because you got Arrowhead, Big Bear, Tahoe. You've got so many places that are so in such crisis, and like, makes my area look like our snow is nothing. I sure the hell can't complain over what these people are going through. And so then on this one footage, it showed the freeway. I think it was the 81 or something. And they had these big truck trying to move the snow, because it had gotten another it was another like 5 or 8 feet or something. I don't remember. I'm so screwy on numbers, so you'd have to look it up to get accurately, because I swear to God, it was more like 30 feet. It could be 13. I don't know why a 3 thing. But it went way up past where the truck was, that's for sure. And the truck barely looked like it was moving. Like, there's so much snow. It's like barely moving, trying to push the snow. And it was blowing it up over into this pile. So a lot of that snow is blown over. So it could be even higher right there than it is out. But it covers these people's houses. Like, all these people's houses are covered, and people are... but the thing is that they're about to get 5 more feet this weekend. And it's like, oh my God, as soon as they shovel anything, and it just comes in and just puts it right back on them. It's because California, I'm telling you, it's their attitude. It's the way they see things. It's the way they look at things. This is why the universe is showing them something and bringing them together. It's doing something to affect their lives in such a huge thing. Because, man, I feel like the earthquake is going to be coming. Today's the 7th, and I don't know, everybody's like, the earthquake's today on my comments on TikTok, so I don't know. It's coming no matter what. It's definitely coming. We're going to shift over here. So I don't know if when that starts happening, oh yeah, because that news guy, because um, he goes, yeah, we're going to get 5 more feet this weekend, which is just really great for this drought. Like, this is really great. What the fuck? What the fuck, dude? Yeah, it's really great. I mean, it's so great for the drought. And all these people are dying. It's just great. Okay. It's like so fucking mental. But, so anyways, I think what it's going to be like the first things, like if I had any kind of proposal for garden thing, like a cool ass big center, like a big community center, like a rec center. That would be is going to be huge in communities, I think, because that's where I think it's going to be more of where education is going to occur. I think people aren't going to be so formal on the education anymore. But, you know, big rec center, you can go down and meet up with somebody who's going to teach you karate or teach you art or, you know, teach you music. Like there's going to be all sorts of places, like a big rec center where people can go in and have a space to interact and socialize and teach and learn. And so, and then like what I'm seeing is like this big community center. And it's kind of like a roundish even, and goes out in all these different directions of, and then, and it's really cool looking too. And then it's got a lot of greenery around, but then it goes out in these like pathways of gardens. It kind of like over where, like in Spokane, there's a place called Manitou Garden. I bet you there's a lot of these all over the places. These big garden centers, and you go out, you can walk around to look at flowers and stuff, and there's all these different paths and areas you can go. Kind of like that a little bit, but it definitely has a center. And then it has going out from there, growing places, and then I think there's going to be places where people can live out and grow for their own, and it would be more, you know, community gardens for communities where, because I don't think every single person's going to have to grow their own food. I think there's going to be co-op gardening where people can go in and you can work the garden to get your food, or there's going to be ones you could go in and, you know, maybe you sew all day and make clothes and you sell your clothes to people in the area, and so you know you're super busy and you don't have time to go and work the garden, but whatever the people give you in exchange, that you can exchange that to go get food. So there's going to be all sorts of different ways that things are going to be, you know, we'll come up with that, but that's where people got to quit being stuck on, oh, it's just got to be money, we just got to go, you know, you got to start thinking outside the box, you know. And so after, when people start sending in those proposals, it's going to be the real go-getters are going to go out there and start creating. And I bet you they already have some. There's going to be people I bet are already a part of it that are kind of not the ones that will take on the leadership roles, but the ones that will go in and help to create the area, kind of like how when a city is in development, how they'll have like city planner. You know, it's all been corrupt, but that's why we have to go in and be a part of it. But there'll be like city planners, developers, but it won't be these kind that are over here just as a part of the system, which there hasn't been any work over there. For the last time I heard it was one of the days it was a week ago or a week and a half ago. And it was, I kept hearing that woo, 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 woo. And it's not just hearing it, I could feel it. Yesterday I don't even know where this car was, but I could feel their music and I could hear the music, but it was like because I could feel their music, I could hear it. It was so strange. It's like, I don't even know where they were. It must be a few houses down, but I was kind of watching for my granddaughter and I saw like a flash of light, and then I was like, huh, maybe that's her. So I was looking out the window and then I could hear this music and I could feel this, you know, kind of like when you go past a car that's boom, 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 and you can feel it. Like I can feel that stuff more than just, it doesn't have to be that boom, boom. I can feel it when it's a lot more subtle. And so I could feel the music in my chest, and then I could hear something. And then it must have been one of the other cars around, but it wasn't her. Um, but she came in right after. But I don't think it was her. I mean, she could have been. Like, they could have had their music blaring as they came in, and then when they got into the neighborhood, turned it down. But anyways, that's what caught my attention. And then she did come, but I kept thinking, well, maybe that was just the neighbor, and then she came after them. I don't know. But it is trippy how I can hear these things. But anyway, so I could feel that, and I could hear it. And then I opened the door, and I'm trying to hear, like, where is that coming from? And then all of a sudden, it was like late too. It was like 6:30 at night, and all of a sudden they started going over there and pounding and blowing shit up. And I was like, what in the fuck? So they just come in to do work to cover up the noise that's going on in the tunnels or something. That's what it seemed like to me. But anyways, there hasn't been any work over there in a week, so that is a good sign on the money thing, that the banks are all dried up. I've seen a lot of things about where people have been saying that now they've got notification that their bank no longer takes cash or gives cash. It's only digital. So those are the banks you want to leave right away. You don't want anything to do with those ones, because the quantum thing is going to be different anyways. It's not going to be a bank. I don't even know what banks are going to be used for really anymore. It's going to be, listening to Charlie, it was like the quantum system. Like, we're going to have our own account, our own quantum account, just like how we have a bank account, but won't be in that platform. It won't be through that institute. It's going to just be, I don't know if it's going to be called freedom money, or I don't know. But anyways, you'll have your account. And it's so stupid too. Like right now, California, they're bankrupt as fuck, but it's coming out. They're going to pay $365,000 per person in reparations for anyone who was relatives involved in slavery. Okay, California. And then at the same time, we got Mississippi going back, Jim Crow. Like, this stuff is so fucking. It's all just to get people to be outraged and to get people's attention, get people talking, get people paying attention. Crazy enough, there's still so many people who don't. But every time I talk to any of them, they're just like, well, I just live my life and don't pay attention to what's going on in the world. But the world's going to get you. The world's going to show you. You better start paying attention. Like, that's happening. And it's hard when it's people that you know and love. And it's like, that's why I keep on like, yeah, but what about this? What about that? What about this? So, I don't know. But we think, oh yeah, because Charlie had said that the quantum thing, so you will have your money, and so say you want to buy a house, and there's going to be such a shift. Like, I think, like, I don't even know if this house is going to be here. I don't know if the houses in my neighborhood are going to be here. Like, when I go to the end of my driveway now and look out, look, the trees on the mountain are all fucking dead. The tree, I go out, I've been walking Stella, the trees in the fucking neighborhood are all fucking dead. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, we've been sprayed, you know, we were sprayed a year ago or more. I mean, I remember when it happened, because I was talking about, like, all of a sudden, and they could have even done it a couple months before that, but it was when all of the needles started falling off, and it wasn't even last summer, it was the summer before, and all of the needles fell off all of a sudden, like it was fall or something. It was the weirdest thing. And it was like I was being snowed on with these orange evergreen needles all day long. It was just like crazy, because I sit outside all the time in the spring and the summer, and it was just insane. And then it was sometime last year, because it took a while before the trees all started turning white. It didn't happen all at the same time. First, they all started just dropping the needles. And when you drive around, oh my God, I can't even believe, like, going down the 542, how many dead trees there are. Like, what the fuck is going to go down here? Like, I don't know. You know, a big part of Washington is not on the doomsday map, that's for fucking sure. So, you know, some going down. But all of the places that have been overrun, overdone, just They are going to go under the mud. They're going underground. They're going underneath us. They're going in the past. We're going into the future. We're going in on top. We're going in over. We're going to build up from where we are. It's this total changeover. So when the yeah, because I was seeing that, because that house, I notice every time when I go by, hasn't been any work done on it. That's definitely a bank thing. Especially like the siding was on everything except the front of the house, and they still haven't put the siding on the front of the house. It's just sitting there. They totally ran out of money, and the bank won't give them any more. And so it just sits there and sits there. And so there's the same thing that's going on over there. So there's a stagnation definitely happening in the building over here by me, which to me is a good sign on the banking. But there's so much talk. Wall Street is about to crash and stuff. That's going to be the whole, the whole thing that's going to lead to. If Wall Street goes down, that's the banks. It's all going down when that goes down. So, but anyway, so when you go to the quantum thing, it's going to be you're in charge of it. And like you want to go buy a house, which, I don't know. There is not going to be people wanting to go move into cities when there's these new future cities going up. And, people are out flying around, getting food for free, getting power for free, because it's all going to be free. It's going to be Tesla. That'll be another thing, too, on his future city. It's going to be Tesla. You're going to be able to, it won't be electric cars. It's going to be magnetic, like a magnetism. It's something about our magnetism of the planet is what it's run on, not the electricity. That's their manipulation of the power. So the future cities will be probably hover cars. Won't be gas. It won't be. Everything is going to be free. Resources will be free. There's going to be fucking everything going up. There's going to be food. And I'm sure, and I think he's going to want to get started on this pretty soon because of the food thing. There's going to be necessary for people to start growing food because I'm sure he's aware of the stockpile. And they're destroying all the food plant places so they can't make more. So, he's going to come in and undermine them just as they undermine everything else. So he'll come in and with the future cities and they won't be contained. That's the thing too to look at. They're not going to be contained like the smart cities. I don't know why people don't even look into this shit. They just automatically assume, oh, it's Trump. It's the same thing. He's just saying it different. No, it's not. It's exactly the opposite thing of what they're trying to push us into. And it's going to be open. It's going to be, I think you're going to be given as much property as that you can manage. It's not going to be about gluttony. It's going to be about balance. And so it's going to be, what you can manage, you will have at your, not everybody's going to want to have 20 acres, to sit out there. But there's going to be a lot more space between us. We're not going to be on top of each other like this. But, not everybody's going to want to have 20 acres. A lot of people are going to want to go out and travel and see the world, especially when traveling is not going to cost like the same. I don't know how everything's going to be because there's still going to be exchanges of money. This is going into the gold standard, but there's not going to be the same need for it. Like everything is going to be there for you. So you're not going to have the same need as to go out and get things and, what you have to do to get things. It's going to be so much more readily available and just there. And that is going to be like, for you not to even have to think, like we've all been in survival mode for so long, to not even have to do that. It's just there. Everything's just there for us. So then with, supposedly with all new, so if you get anything new, like if you went in and you said, I want a brand new house, then you're going to pay taxes. But on all of the, I think in the very beginning, when they're really trying to because all of the gold that was taken, so that we became the currency. So all of that has to switch back, there's a lot of it. And so they have to start, feeding it into the communities to build them. That's going to be, Charlie said that was going to be the place that was going to go first, because the community, they couldn't just be giving it to people, because I mean, people are not there yet. They're not ready. They'd be wasteful. They would be frivolous. They would not, they're still in consumer mode. They haven't, had that come to Jesus moment where it's like, they realize what matters and what doesn't matter. And so, what's going to happen here in a sec. And but once that does, then the respect for the exchange of not currency but energy is going to be a lot more understood and respected. The this, everything is a give and take, a push and pull. You can't just be take, and you can't just be give. And so all those things have been out of balance, and those are for each person, because each person, like a giver, is very arrogant. Like they may think, like, I'm a martyr, I just do everything for everyone. But the reason you do everything for everyone is because you think that you need to, because you think they can't. You don't give them the space to do it for themselves. You think you know what's best, so you jump in and do it. So that's ego. And when people are saying, here, do this for me, and you jump in, okay, that is because you're desperate to have acceptance, to be liked or something, that you don't have the ability to set boundaries. You don't want to hurt somebody else's feelings, so you hurt your own. That is not healthy. So that is something that you have to go in and look at. Like, why do I do things that I don't want to do? Why do I try and help people when, because it all leads back to ego. It all leads back to the same place. And so those are all things. And so good do-gooders have got just as much problems as the ones who are hateful. Like everybody has got this ego work to do, and then each person has their own. So it's like what people have to go in and start, just like I said, questioning themselves. But he said that, Charlie had said that when we buy something new, that's the only time we'll be taxed. There will be no taxes. We won't pay taxes anymore. The only time you would is if you purchase something new. He said this is in the papers of what's, because he's got to read them all and stuff, because he's part of the rollout or something. Because I don't know if it was just because because he was already a financial person. Yeah, he was already a financial person. He was already involved with a lot of people. That is when he started speaking out, because he said that, and he's called himself out and said, he was doing some, I mean, these people, it's all money laundering, these rich people, and he was doing that for rich people, moving their money around for them, and not laundering it so much, but it is still laundering it, the way, you'd have to listen to him talk about it and then draw your own conclusions. But so he was involved with really rich people who, about money and stuff. And so that is where he started hearing about it, because they were saying what was going down. And he said years ago that they said it's coming, it's going to be going down, there's going to be a sickness, we're destroying the economy because we're switching it. And so he started hearing all this stuff from them. They were saying it. And then when it happened, and that is when he was like, oh, this is what they were saying, that this sickness. So he started speaking out about that. And that, luckily for me, was, I mean, nothing is by luck. Everything is by purpose. I mean, it was supposed to happen. I was supposed to find him. I was supposed to hear that information. I was supposed to hear Judy. All of the things happen exactly the way they're supposed to happen. That's just all there is to it. And so, he really, to me, gave me a lot of insight into what I had already suspected. Like, he just filled in the blanks on some things. And so, but he said, like, an old house, like if you said, well, I'm going to buy that old house, you would just, like, say, I said I wanted to sell this house, like this one still exists, and I'm on this super exclusive little, like, I don't know, jetty or something that's sticking out from Canada, surrounded by water. And so then, I think a jet, I don't know what it's called, I don't know, but a little part that sticks out. And then, so, who knows? Maybe it'll even be like a little island. I don't know. I don't know how, we'll see. But say, so and then I go, well, I want to sell my house. I want to move to Scotland. But I think Scotland's going to be underwater. It's on the doomsday map. Sucks, man. But, so if I said, I want to move someplace else, and so I'm going to sell this place, even though that's not what I'm going to do. If I have this place, it's, it's a part of, no, I'm not doing that. But anyways, but if I did, then it would be a direct sale. Like I would just, somebody would just, it would be between us. It would be no banks, no title companies, nothing. None of the bullshit. None of the shit. None of the fucking obstacles. None of the bullshit that we've had to endure for every fucking motherfucking oh, we're gonna sit here and sign papers for 2 hours and fucking like we're supposed to sit there and read all this shit. You just fucking sit and read bullshit. But so it's not gonna be like that. It's gonna be direct. You would just come up and say, hey, I'm gonna buy your place, and I say, okay, cool. How much you want to pay, or this is what I want, how we want to do this. We would set it up. So if we said, hey, okay, I'm going to give you this much, or every month for 2 years, like it would be between the two people to decide how they want to do it. It's not anything about anybody else. So that's freedom right there, right? Nobody's telling us how to do it. We get to decide. That's freedom. So then there's going to be, and then so if you buy new stuff, it's supposedly taxed, but I think there's going to be so much incentive plans. I think there's going to be, he's already got the future city. He's already put it out there. He's already said there's going to be all this stuff. There's going to be more, dropping more and dropping more and dropping more. But I feel like there's going to be homestead properties going to be given away. But I feel like that they're going to do some sort of incentive home kits or something. Like there's going to be some cool shit, I think. And then so that will start with the building. And so I would assume it's going to probably be more people who are awakened to the system that would be heading to those. And I don't know how long this is going to go. Like, will it go to the point where some of us are thriving and living in these cities and having a great time, and then you still have people living in other places that are under the control of the government? I don't know. I think people are going to be pushed into having to not have a government. Like, it's going to collapse. Like, all these people are going to be arrested. All these people are going to go down. They're going to hear about the crimes. They're going to hear, there's going to be a lot of, it's just going to change a lot of people's attitudes and stuff and make people be more like, man, I got to take a better role. I've left my kids to be raised by teachers, and things are just so out of control. So when that, so first he's going to start with this, if you've got a proposal, so any kind of business, because he's saying, like, we're going to be the leaders again. So, geez, I don't know, it could be, it's not going to be, we're not going into industry and manufacturing like it was. It's going to be small. Everything is going to be small. It's going to be a lot more independent. It's going to be a lot more where you benefit from what you do. Nobody else is going to be benefiting from what you do. And if you hire people, that is, if you're a group or something, like that's going to be, people are going to do it in all different ways. But there could be some businesses where, there's some number of employees. And maybe they'll hire some more. Maybe there'll be some people who want to still go and have a restaurant and hire people. But there's going to be a thing where, most people are not working. So how many people are going to really want to spend all their day working to, like, feed us or something? You know what I mean? I think there'll still be people doing food, because that's a very enjoyable thing. But I think it would be a lot more like a lunch menu, and it's only open between these hours. You can go and have this, certain meal that they always have this, these certain meals, and you can go there. So it's not going to be like how it is now. This is like endless menus, endless restaurants. It blows my fucking mind. Like, how many people still go out and do this shit? Like, what in the hell? Like, oh my God. this woman I just saw, and she's complaining. There's so many people complaining about how they're treated in public, treated at Walmart, treated at McDonald's, treated at Jack in the Box. I can't believe I was treated this way at a fast food restaurant. There's so much of that. But so every Friday we go to McDonald's because we got to get our fast food. We live for that week of getting there to the McDonald's, and then they get treated bad once they get there, and then they're upset about it. And it's like, you gotta start seeing, like, this is, I don't know. They will see. They'll all see, and they'll all have their own thing. Like, I can't believe we kept going there. And it was already on the news a year ago that they were feeding us. Like, God, no telling what these people are eating. I swear to God. Gross. This other day I was driving, it was a thing about a fast food restaurant that popped into my head, and someone driving through and being like, well, I had that Sally burger last week. That was some pretty tasty stuff. I'd really like some more of her. And people, oh, we ran out of her. She was a popular one, but we've got a Steve, and he's really good. People are really enjoying him. And, he's going to go fast. Okay, well, I'll have a little Steve then. I swear to God, that is how some of these people, well, it's good for the climate, isn't it? I mean, what else are we going to do with them? They're dead. May as well. It's like, oh my God. Oh, this world is so fucking insane. My God, damn. But when people attach to themselves, there are going to be some that are going to not like the feeling and not going to be able to be very facing themselves. Is going to be a hard one. It's going to be a hard one. It's going to be, I've seen some footage already of people coming into it, just bawling. Like, I can't believe it. Why? How did they do this to us? They lied to us like this. They've tricked us our whole lives. Like, all these people. And it's gonna, oh man, it's gonna be intense. It's gonna be intense, and it's flipping. It's like all the dominoes are flipping. It's all going into these different pathways of all these people flipping, and it's gonna go into that part, in those domino shows where it goes into the part for the big display, where it just all of a sudden turns into this, like all the different trails all of a sudden hit the one and they all go at once. It's so fucking cool. That is gonna be what's gonna happen. It's gonna, we've got them all going all over the place. The energy is just picking up, and because we are the change. That's what people don't get. It's us. We're the change. We are the ones. We awaken. We're the ones doing this. It is written. I can know. It's not like I'm not. This is written. It's already gonna be done, and we're the ones who do it. So. It's happening, and it's in motion. It's in the process, and we're going full steam ahead. And man, I'm really, if I know my role, so I'm just waiting for that all to go. I mean, I don't know the whole thing. Like, I don't know exactly. I know some of it. But I don't know, like I said, I don't know what it is. There's certain things I don't know and certain things I do know. And to know that the direction I'm not supposed to do is I'm not supposed to be one of the people putting in a proposal. There's people who have that inside of them. There's people who have those templates. They came in to play that role. Like, you don't have to force a role. There's people who came in to play all roles. So those people will step into their role. We'll start seeing these cities going up, start seeing them develop. They'll start piquing a lot of interest. And, I definitely, if, things don't start speeding up around here with my own, then I will head in a direction like that. I will go to a place and be a part of a community building. That's, but I know I'm not supposed to be putting in proposals and stuff. I know that there's a lot of people who are going to be playing those roles, and I think it's going to be really cool when we start seeing people step into their role and feeling good about themselves and seeing that they matter and seeing that they have purpose. And so, yeah, you don't have to go in and do everything. Like, you gotta give everyone space to walk into their role and play their part. And there's going to be some fucking cool ass shit that's going to come from it. So, I'm excited. I'm excited to see like what comes of these cities, because in the QHHT things, there was people saying there's going to be like some cities are just built out of crystals and stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, and maybe they were going into a way more future one or a different reality. Like, I don't know. But they're going to definitely be different than what we are have had. And I don't know how it's all going to go, but I think that the aliens, the technological beings that are assisting us with all this will definitely help us in the development, though, we will be far advanced. It's not like we're going to have to try this and try that. No, we got to take a big quantum leap. It's like we got to go from this is what we were doing, but then we got to go way over here because someone's going to come in and tell us all the parts that we can skip so we can go way over there. And it will be a quantum leap. It'll be a big jump. And so it's super exciting. So get excited, even though, we got more trauma to go. But we got to keep spreading the words about this. The future cities is different. There is a definite global agenda that is trying to take over, and then there is a movement towards freedom. One person is all about freedom, is not about control. And the other person is a group. It's the controlling group of this world that wants to keep control. And that's why they have fought him the whole time and tried to disembowel. That's popped into my head. But really, they've tried to crush his spirit. They've destroyed his reputation. Like, when I hear these people saying shitty things about him, it's like, you're believing what the news said. Go in and read about his humanitarian projects. Like, fuck, this dude is is a special person. I'm not saying he's our savior. I'm not saying he's coming, but he came in to play a role. And his role for me was waking me up. I went from couldn't stand the guy to just loving him to death. Like, he made my skin crawl. And what's really weird is how I used to like him a long time ago. And it is the TDS, man. They just keep pounding you with like, oh, he's rotten, oh, he's this, he's that, he's perv and all that stuff. And then that's all you can see. And then, it was like, God, this guy's a real garbage dump. And then to find out, like, oh no, that was all just some bullshit. And they're just manipulating us to try and get us to hate him because he's trying to do something good for us. He's coming in and speaking out against the fucking bullshit. And they don't like him because they figure, you got money and you want to keep it. You better be a part of our team. He's like, no, that's not how I roll. I don't care about it that much. He gives it away to people. He helps people and stuff all the time. I think he's got plenty. I don't think he's ever worried. And then plus, there's got to be a certain point, even if you're rich, that like, man, I'm successful. I've been able to do this. I can do it again and again and again. Like, once you know what success feels like, or not even success, like that word. Because once you have gotten yourself into a position of comfort and you've worked your way up and you see that you have what it takes and you get to that position, I don't think I think some people become desperate. Like, oh my God, I'm going to lose it all. Become like, hide it. Someone's going to take it from me. That's some serious issues to work on. But I think, a healthy person would be like, oh, I can get it again. I'm not worried. I'm successful. I will always be successful. I will always get what it is that I'm going after. I will always, you know what I mean? It's a mindset. And so you don't have to sit there and be like holding on to it with dear life, because there's a trust factor. And that's where I feel like, in part, it has been a part of my awakening, is the trust factor of the universe. That is where, there's so much stuff where I really started understanding, oh, destiny, oh, I've spent so much of my time trying to control things and worried and trying to do that, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's all just happening. It happens the way it's going to happen. We're along for the ride. And then we're all caught up trying to change the ride. It's like, you can't change the ride. All you can do is drive yourself crazy. So, yeah, when you're on the ride and you're just going, then you're in the experience. And it's, but there is such a factor of trust and trusting, like, my higher self knows what's best. I mean, they made the choice over this role that I'm here playing. They designed this, so this is what they want to experience, and they want is the purpose is in this low vibration is how the avatar can experience through emotions and all of that stuff and all of the things that we have to try and master to quiet the mind, to hear, to all. I mean, it's a lot to rise your kundalini and heal yourself through the chakra system. All of that stuff it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot to do, and it is but there's a purpose why your soul wants to experience that, but then you got to just trust, like, your soul has something that's going on here, whatever, even if it is something horrible that happens, it's for what happens after. It's not just so the horrible thing happens, it's so that you see what happens after. It's so you grow or whatever that comes with the territory. So anyways, there's just a lot of things for people to start looking at differently and seeing. And we're in this time of change, and everybody is, it's changing. Things are being seen, and people are seeing. But anyways, don't be scared of the fucking future cities and not the 15-minute cities. 15-minute cities are very, very different. And he hasn't said that much about them yet. Only the things that I have heard. And it completely goes with what I had heard that was coming. So, everybody will make their own decisions. Even when people are like, oh, he's a bad guy, he told me to get one of these. They're like, no, he was trying to teach you how to think for yourself. Not to do something just because he said it. Not to do something because they said it. Start going inside, like I said. What is your gut telling you? Does your gut say go for it, or does your gut say don't go for it? If your gut says go for it, there's a lesson there. So there's a lesson in everything. There's always a lesson. So anyways, be strong and keep going and keep working on you. And I think just try and get as excited as possible. We're bringing this in, and just keep on. To me, keep on thinking about that future city, expanding it. That's us. We are expanding. We are creating this with our thoughts. So start putting some time and energy into thinking of how cool. I mean, jets and cities everywhere. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.